Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're digging into the story of Jeremy Marsh. He's an investigative journalist, and his whole thing is proving the impossible isn't quite so impossible after all.
Yeah, we got a whole stack of sources covering his work, his life,
Yeah.
everything from writing for Scientific American to, well, driving into rural North Carolina, chasing a ghost story.
Exactly. So our mission here is to figure out how this guy, who's famous for taking down frauds, ends up looking for, like, mysterious lights in a cemetery.
It's this clash, right, between hard science journalism and the whole, let's be honest, kind of chaotic world of paranormal investigation stuff.
And the big question for you listening is, can logic explain everything? Or are there some things that just don't fit the data?
Let's lay out who Jeremy is first, because his credentials matter here.
Oh, absolutely. This isn't just some blogger. He's genuinely respected. Explained Stephen Hawking for regular folks. Interviewed Nobel winners.
And importantly, he actually got results. Remember Leffertex, the antidepressants?
Yeah, dangerous stuff.
He basically started the whole movement that pushed the FDA to pull it off the market. So he has real impact.
Which makes his latest victory even bigger. The psychic medium, Clausen.
Oh yeah, total takedown. And Jeremy didn't just say he's fake. He showed how it worked.
Walked through the whole illusion. Cold reading, observation.
And this is the brilliant part, timing those messages from the other side perfectly with the TV commercial breaks.
Right. It was forensic debunking, really. And it blew up, got him loads of attention, primetime live, maybe even GMA. His agent, Nate, was thrilled talking about the holy grail of TV money.
Which leads to the obvious question. If he's suddenly this hot commodity, why is he driving through what he calls a landscape as exciting as pancake batter?
Huh. Yeah, heading to Boone Creek, North Carolina for this seemingly minor story.
And that's let's call it the practical reality we need to understand. Writing for Scientific American sounds great, huge prestige.
But it didn't pay much. That's what the sources say.
Exactly. So his actual living came from these freelance gigs, investigating anything unusual, the kind of stuff his colleagues probably, look down on a bit.
So Boone Creek, the mysterious lights story, it's basically a paycheck, a fluff piece to recover after the Clausen investigation, which sounds like it took a lot out of him.
Pretty much. Pay the bills, clear his head. It shows that even the noble pursuit of scientific truth, well, it has bills attached.
It's a jarring shift, isn't it? From the buzz of New York media to this small town he describes as looking like it's dying of old age.
That contrast is key, because it immediately flags the town's own motivations. You see these glossy Chamber of Commerce photos, azaleas, dogwoods, the whole 9 yards.
But the reality he drives through is different. Flat, sparse, run-down gas stations.
And he's caught in the middle, right? His agent, Nate, is pushing for something sensational, something TV-worthy. Jeremy, he just wants to get in, investigate, write the piece, get paid, and be out of there in less than a week.
But it's never that simple in these small towns, is it? Before he even unpacks his gear, he runs into the local personalities, and they all seem to want different things from him in this story.
Oh, yeah. First up is Tully, the guy at the gas station, the talker.
And this is where Jeremy gets a quick reality check.
You could say that. Tully confuses him with a urologist. A urologist.
Seriously?
Yep. And then, just casually, points him towards the cemetery and mentions, oh, by the way, you can buy tickets for the Historic Homes and Haunted Cemetery tour right at the Chamber of Commerce.
Wow. Okay, so it's not just folklore. It's a business.
A heavily promoted business. And the head promoter, Mayor Gherkin.
Right, the mayor. Described as pretty zealous about this whole thing.
Totally. He sees Jeremy, this famous journalist, and thinks, TV cameras, national attention. He offers free lodging, throws this big, elaborate dinner.
All staged to get good press, right? It's not about finding truth. It's about economic survival for Boone Creek. The ghost story is their main draw.
It's a pretty cynical play, but maybe necessary from his point of view. But then things get complicated.
How so?
He meets Doris McClellan, the town psychic.
Wait, the town psychic. Okay, I thought Jeremy was the skeptic here.
He is, but Doris is different. She's a genuine diviner. The sources say she could find underground water, even predict the sex of unborn babies, though apparently that skill faded once ultrasound machines arrived in town.
Huh. Okay, so a local psychic. But what does she want with Jeremy?
This is the twist. Doris doesn't believe the Cedar Creek lights are ghosts.
She doesn't.
Nope. She actually called Jeremy, or got word to him somehow, because she wants him to debunk the story.
The psychic wants the skeptic to prove the ghosts aren't real. Why?
Because the tourists, the ones buying the mayor's tour tickets, are trampling all over the cemetery. It's old, abandoned, literally crumbling and sinking in places. The increased traffic is making it worse.
So she's worried about the physical place, not the spirits.
Exactly. She even connects it to an old legend, the Hetty Dobele curse, a slave spirit story predicting the cemetery would be swallowed by the ground if the graves were disturbed.
A curse. Okay, that sounds like folklore.
It is, but Doris gives it a practical spin. She says the sinking isn't a curse, it's the unstable water table underground causing the land to subside. She wants Jeremy's scientific approach to basically save the cemetery from the ghost hunters.
That's fascinating. She's using the legend but explaining it scientifically, tradition and science working together, sort of.
In a way, yeah. But then there's another layer. Doris's granddaughter, Lexie Darnell,
The librarian.
the librarian,
Yeah.
and she is not happy to see Jeremy Marsh in town.
Why not? Is she a believer in the lights?
Not really. She's suspicious of him.
Yeah.
She thinks he's just there to make Boone Creek look stupid. You know, gullible, foolish, and superstitious.
Ah, the classic outsider journalist trope. She's worried he'll twist the story for clicks or ratings.
Precisely.
Mm-hmm.
And Lexie apparently used to live in Manhattan, chose to come back to Boone Creek. So she's protective of the town, its sense of community, even if she doesn't buy the ghost story herself.
So you've got the mayor pushing the legend for money, the psychic wanting it debunked to save the land, and the librarian wanting the truth but worried the truth teller will hurt the town's reputation.
It's a mess. A perfect storm for Jeremy, really. He's got conflicting agendas pulling him in every direction before he even sets up a camera.
Okay, so let's talk about the investigation itself. He finally gets down to work. What's his approach? What gear does he bring?
Oh, he comes prepared. This is where you see the serious science journalist emerge. He's got, like, 4 video cameras. Specialized filtering lenses, to analyze the light itself. Audio equipment. But also detectors.
Detectors for what? Ghosts?
No, for microwave radiation and electromagnetic activity. He's looking for man-made interference, hidden transmitters, that sort of thing. Not spirits.
Gotcha. Standard procedure for debunking hoaxes?
Right. And he even uses some low-tech tricks. Spreads flour on the ground near the hot spots, strings up thin threads with little bells across paths.
To catch anyone sneaking in to create the effect.
Exactly. He's ready for an elaborate setup. His working theory, based on the old notes lights only appearing in fog, usually at night, is that it's reflected or maybe refracted light.
Tied to the local geography.
Yes, specifically a place called Rikers Hill. He thinks the hill plus the fog density might be bending or reflecting some light source. He even checks the moon phase, confirms it needs to be a new moon, dark skies, for the lights to be really visible.
So he sets up his stakeout? What happens?
Success? In a way. The lights appear. Right on schedule, almost. 11.44 in 10 seconds p.m. in the fog, just like the stories say.
Okay, so the phenomenon is real, at least. People aren't just imagining things.
Right. But he instantly rules out the moon theory he had, because it was a new moon, totally hidden. So the light wasn't lunar.
Meaning it had to be coming from somewhere else. A fixed artificial source.
That's his deduction. It needs a specific source and specific atmospheric conditions, the fog, to become visible. But finding that source, well, that takes another push.
And this is where Lexie comes back in, the skeptical librarian.
Yep. Turns out she just wants him to solve it and leave. Maybe she's softening towards him. Maybe she just wants the disruption over. Either way, she guides him to the right resources in the library.
And the answer was there all along.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Hidden in plain sight in an old diary belonging to Owen Gherkin.
Gherkin. Any relation to the mayor?
His late father.
No way. So the mayor's own father knew.
Knew and wrote it down. The lights. Simple reflections. From the Hendrickson paper mill.
A paper mill?
Yeah. The light reflects off something, gets magnified by the dense fog, which is extra thick because of that sinking water table Doris mentioned. And it's possibly influenced by the train that crosses a nearby trestle at just the right time. The topography of Rikers Hill plays a part too, focusing it.
So, it was all figured out. Decades ago. By the current mayor's dad.
Correct. The mystery was solved. Which means the town council, definitely led by Mayor Gherkin, has been knowingly selling a debunked phenomenon as a ghost story for tourism.
Wow, that's cynical. Jeremy's science proved the lights weren't ghosts, but the real story is the town leadership exploiting a known scientific explanation.
It's an economic hustle built on a geographical quirk. He successfully debunks the ghost story, exposes the mechanism. Case closed, professionally speaking.
Professionally, yes. But that's when things take a hard left turn personally, right? With Lexie. The rational scientist starts acting, well, not so rationally.
Yeah, this is the emotional core, isn't it?
Yeah.
He finally tells Lexie the reason behind his divorce, the thing that shaped his whole solitary, constantly traveling life.
Which is,
He's infertile. That's what the sources reveal, he tells her. The diagnosis apparently made him feel, quote, defective, less of a man.
oh wow, that's heavy.
Deeply personal. And it explains his lifestyle, his avoidance of settling down. He felt he couldn't give a partner, maybe specifically Lexie, the family life he assumed she wanted. It's this deep-seated fear.
A biological fact he can't debunk. The ultimate unsolvable mystery for him. And telling Lexie this, how does she react?
It confirms her worst fears, basically,
Oh.
about men leaving. Remember her history. Avery cheated, Mr. Renaissance just vanished.
Right. So Jeremy's confession, his fear of inadequacy, sounds like another inevitable departure to her.
Exactly. So she bolts, takes off for the Outer Banks, a place called Buxton, tells him she can't start something she knows he won't or feels he can't finish. Her defenses go way up.
Okay, so she runs, and Jeremy, Mr. Logic and Reason.
Throws logic out the window, completely derails his professional life. He misses his flight back to New York, ignores frantic calls from his agent Nate, ditches his cameraman Alvin, who was supposed to meet him.
All to go after Lexie.
All to go after Lexie. He
Courtney.
travels for hours, ends up hitching a ride on a fisherman's boat just to get to Buxton on the Outer Banks.
That's quite a detour from scientific investigation.
It's huge. He's abandoning everything his career is built on, schedules, deadlines, the next big story for her.
Right.
He's choosing the emotional, the uncertain, over the rational path he's always followed.
So he finds her, they talk.
They do. They reconcile there on the beach. And they actually make a plan, a real one. A long-distance thing, for starters. He starts looking at houses in Boone Creek, plans to work remotely for Scientific American.
Seriously. He's going to move there, or at least spend significant time there.
Seems like it. And Lexie agrees to meet his mother in New York. It looks like the scientist is finally trying to build a life that isn't just about data and debunking.
A major shift for him. But isn't there one more twist?
Oh yeah, the biggest one. After they've committed to making it work, Lexie drops the final bombshell. And it comes via her grandmother, Doris the diviner.
What is it?
Lexie tells him that according to Doris's divination, a real miracle might have happened.
Don't leave us hanging.
She implies she's pregnant.
Pregnant.
Uh,
He just told her he was infertile. That was the whole reason for his emotional crisis.
Exactly. The master skeptic. The man whose entire world is based on empirical evidence, observable facts. Who proved lights were reflections and psychics were performers.
Now potentially facing a biological event that, based on his own medical diagnosis, should be statistically impossible.
Talk about a head trip. Jeremy Marsh went to Boone Creek expecting to impose scientific order on a spiritual belief.
And he did, technically. He exposed the light show for what it was, a known phenomenon being exploited.
Right. He proved the ghosts were a lie, albeit a useful one for the town's economy. But he leaves facing a personal mystery, his own potential fatherhood, that seems to defy all his scientific understanding and control.
So in the end, his investigation worked. He got the facts about the lights. But the sources really highlight that in a place like Boone Creek, the official facts hidden in a diary somewhere, well, they don't matter as much as community, tradition, maybe even belief itself.
Yeah, the town needed the story, debunked or not. But think about Jeremy. His whole identity was built on explaining away the unexplainable through science. What happens now?
What do you mean?
Well, he's presented with this potential miracle in his own life, something that seems to fly in the face of medical science, of probability. Does that fundamentally change his worldview? Does it shake his faith in pure reason?
Or does he just see it as another scientific puzzle to solve? Maybe a rare biological anomaly, something needing further investigation.
Exactly. Does it challenge the why behind his skepticism, or just give him a new, incredibly personal scientific question to tackle? It's a fascinating place for a professional skeptic to end up.
A really interesting question for the scientific mind indeed. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.